Welcome to the Stephen Mansfield Podcast.
Welcome to the Stephen Mansfield Podcast. Surely delighted that you've joined me. Hey, before I dive into what I want to talk about today, I want to mention to you a news service that I'm really impressed with. I like resourcing you. I like helping you know how I read and how I stay abreast. And there's a relatively new news source called Axios, A-X-I-O-S. Look them up online, sign up for their daily newsletter. They're doing some pretty creative things. And I have no connection to them. I'm not trying to sell you anything. In fact, the newsletter that I get is free, and so there's nothing to sell as far as I know. But they're doing some very creative things. I've noticed they do some conferences in D.C. I haven't gotten to yet. But I'm real impressed with how they do their journalism. You get a daily list of 10 things that are hot trends. You get updates if you sign up for them. You get kind of a weekend overview, sort of like the Wall Street Journal. I'm impressed with them, and I think that you'll find that helpful. I find that if I get 2 or 3 news services on email every day, that this is really helpful in addition to some of the reading that I do online to help me stay abreast. Plus, their analysis is good, and I notice that with almost every bit of news they treat, there's always a way to drill down further and to go into deeper research. So Axios, A-X-I-O-S, I think you're going to like it, and it'll be helpful to you. I want to talk about a principle that I'm seeing important in our modern world and in our politics and our national life. And it's almost a principle of leadership. It's almost a principle of leadership. So maybe I'm doing 2 things at once in this podcast. Maybe I'm talking about trends, talking about news happenings, but also encouraging you to think about your life in alignment with this principle. And the principle is that if you don't fix it, somebody else is gonna. How's that for a strange principle? If you don't get there first with the mostest, as they often say, firstest with the mostest, then somebody else will. And I'm seeing this principle, the violation of this principle, lived out over and over and over and over. In D.C., in politics, in government, in leadership, if someone doesn't tend what they're supposed to tend, if someone leaves important issues untreated, if someone does not step in and provide solutions and answers, then someone else will, and in a heavier and a much clumsier way. I heard my friend David Frum, he's a very good journalist with The Atlantic. I heard my friend David Frum being interviewed this morning, and he said this principle very, very well. It's a principle I've long believed in, but I heard him illustrating it. He was talking about immigration. He's got an article out today about immigration. You might look it up online, David Frum, F-R-U-M. He was in the Bush administration, and that's how I met him. And he was saying that if serious and well-intentioned people don't deal with immigration, if they don't take care of it in a responsible and considered way, then you'll have people doing reactionary things. You'll have, he said, he's a little harsher than I am, he said you'll have the fascists coming up with solutions, but you'll have people stepping in and doing things that are ham-handed, that are heavy-fisted, that are perhaps bombastic and harsh and not the wisest approach. Well, I see this all the time. And by the way, he's exactly right. The refusal of wise, deliberate people, the refusal of Congress, really, to deal with the crisis at our border, then allows it to become an angry flashpoint and allow someone like Trump to come along and provide solutions that are militaristic and harsh and heavy-handed and clumsy. Well, at least Trump's addressing them, I have to say, in his defense. And you know that I'm mixed about Trump and cautious about him. But where's Congress? Where are the people who should have been tending this through the years? We do have an immigration crisis on our southern border, and it needed to be tended, and we've known about it for years. And by the way, I'm sure you've seen, perhaps online and on YouTube, the list, the clips, the video clips of people going back numerous presidential administrations and numerous sessions of Congress say this is a crisis. We need to deal with it. I mean, not on the left and the right. Obama and all the way back to Kennedy talking about immigration. And so everybody knew something needed to be done. Everybody said they were going to do something, and people didn't do anything. The crisis got worse, so someone stepped in heavy-handed. I would say the same thing happened with medical care. We have a medical care crisis in this country. I can approach it 1,000 different ways, from how many people go bankrupt to how many people aren't tended to how many people aren't covered. In my situation, I have had to change insurance companies now 4 times because of the gyrations that are going on. And I need a certain test right now and still can't get it covered by my insurance. I mean, I'm not, and I'm the least of all concerns. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not saying my issue is the most important issue. But in this country, we have people who aren't covered at all. We have people who have terrible insurance. We have people, it is an absolute crisis. Well, did the medical community step in and propose a solution? Has the AMA done a big study and proposed a plan for national health care? Has anybody offered reform? Has anybody stepped up and taken leadership? No. So you end up with Obamacare, which of course has failed, and it was heavy-handed and bombastic, and in many cases unwise. But somebody was trying to do something about a crisis that was untended. And that's a lot of what's going on in our society on a much, much smaller level. You know, some people are upset because Trump moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. But presidential administrations have been promising that for decades. So if you leave a vacuum, someone's going to step in, and you might not be happy about the results. And I'll have to say that is a lot of what the Trump administration is about. Whatever his weaknesses, and there are many, whatever his flaws, and there are many, Donald Trump at least is a man of action. Some of you right now, you are just nervous that I have become a Trumpite, and I've not. I've always been a moderate, and I've always been mixed on Donald Trump. But to his credit, he realizes that there's a trade imbalance. He tries to repair it. He does it in a heavy-handed, offensive way, but at least he does it. He realizes there's an issue of NATO paying its due, and he steps in his blunt, argumentative way, offending everybody, but at least he raises the issue. He talks to Canada, where they have tariffs on some of our goods that are astronomical and not paying their due and so on. And yeah, he offends everybody, but at least he raises the issue. He does a ham-handed thing down in the southern border. He's got, for some strange reason, we've got thousands of immigrant children not being taken care of, but we somehow brought them in the country and took responsibility for them. He's doing that. He's doing a wall. Yeah, it's not the way most of us would have wanted it done, but nobody did anything else. Congress sat there twiddling its thumbs and did not address this issue. And we're talking about for decades. So Trump, a man of action, if not a man of wisdom in every case, jumps in and gets it done. What's the point? What's the principle? The principle is if you leave a vacuum, if by inactivity and indecision you leave a vacuum, someone is going to provide that solution. Someone is going to step in and answer it, and probably it will not be done in the more finessed and nuanced way you might have done it. Probably it will not be done in the wisest way. And I would say that this is a great way to look at the Trump administration. It may not be the wisest administration. It may be absolutely chaotic. It may be offensive. It may be flawed. You've got weird characters and folks going to jail because they're lying to Congress and all kinds of things, lying to FBI investigators. It's crazy at one level. On the other hand, most of Trump's policy initiatives are addressing issues, or simply him trying to address issues that others should have addressed for decades. So he's willing to step up, fill the vacuum, get the job done, be a man of action. It's like Truman saying, the buck stops here. It's somebody actually acting. And people relate to that. People love that. People like, especially Americans, like the John Wayne, I'll get it done, I'll do it my way, I'll kick some backside, I'll make sure this gets taken care of. It's the presidency according to a Clint Eastwood movie image. It's the presidency according to a John Wayne movie image. It's let's get things done. And so that's the virtue of the Trump administration, is they're not leaving any stone unturned. Anything that needs to be addressed, anything that the country's been complaining about, anything that any president has said, I'll take care of that, and they didn't, Trump will step in. Now, he may scare you when he does it, because he's ham-handed and heavy-fisted, and he may not be the wisest guy with his policies, and certainly he's going to offend everybody in the course of doing it. But at least he's addressing it. And this is a principle for those of you in various industries. Look at your industry. If you're concerned the government's going to step in, if you're concerned that authorities are going to step in, then work with the ruling organization and step up and provide solutions. We have leadership vacuums. We have solutions vacuums, so to speak. And there will be solutions, and they won't be happy ones. I'm constantly telling people in industry, police your industry or it will get policed for you. Deal with what needs to be dealt with. Follow up on what needs to happen. There are right now businesses that are suffering, absolutely taking hits because they did not step up. Southwest Airlines knew for quite some time that they were not taking care of the maintenance issues they should have. They literally had a woman a couple of years ago partially sucked out of a window because the window was not quite installed right. They knew they had maintenance problems. They'd heard back from their mechanics. The unions were screaming. They didn't deal with it. Now they got lawsuits. Now they got shutdowns. Now they got problems. Same thing with Boeing and some of its airliners. They're dealing with hits because no one stepped in to solve the crisis. So this is a principle of leadership. In your company, in your work, look where the leadership vacuum is. Look where there's been this lack of tending an issue and it's just sitting there and everybody knows it, but nobody has the guts to step in and take care of it. Not just because someone else will come and take care of it for you, but because this is an opportunity to distinguish yourself. This is an opportunity to serve people. This is an opportunity to tend what needs to be tended. Leadership is about being on site. Leadership is about getting there firstest with the mostest. Leadership is about stepping in and filling the vacuum and not leaving great gaping holes of untended space, which eventually will become black holes. Black holes basically are great big gravity caverns that suck everything in and cause destruction. If the engineers are telling us that the bridges aren't good in a certain state on a certain highway, someone step in and take care of it. Don't twiddle your thumbs and hope it doesn't collapse and kill a bunch of people. We're paying the dues in our society for that kind of neglectful thinking. And we're certainly dealing with the presidency, which the virtue of which is that he's doing something. The negative is that he's often doing it in insulting, offensive, and ham-handed ways. So this is one of the great principles of life. And as you continue to watch this administration and our national life unfold, be aware, a leadership vacuum is a dangerous thing and will usually be answered in a dangerous way.
Stephen Mansfield is a New York Times best-selling author, a popular speaker, and a frequent faith and culture commentator on Fox and CNN. His groundbreaking books on faith and society include The Faith of George W. Bush, The Search for God in Guinness, Mansfield's Book of Manly Men, and Lincoln's Battle with God. Learn more at stephenmansfield.tv.